So here we have my giant African land snails, and above them I have my bumblebee millipedes. I've just fed them, so they have got courgettes everywhere, so they're all having a bit of that. Put some in the water bowl as well. So they can have a little soak with that as well. They're all enjoying it at the moment. I've got 6 or 7 actually of them in here, but when they get bigger we will be upgrading them, because obviously they'll be too big for this tank, but all of them in here. You can sort of see here I have cocoa fibre for the bottom. There's a couple of inches of it because they do like to burrow in. Some fake plants. I have tried some real plants, but they end up eating them. I've got a little pot here for them to hide in. They also like to go underneath it. I do have their water bowl, which is full up with food at the moment, but they do like to go in there and soak. Got some bits of bark for them to hide under, just a sort of, enrichment for them to climb over, dig underneath, and make it look a bit nicer, really. These snails are the largest land snails in the world, and as you can guess from their name, they come from Africa. They can grow up to the size of an adult's fist. Half of their length is their beautiful shell, and you can tell from mine there's sort of all different varies of the shell. Some are light, some are dark, some have got stripes on. This one's having a good old munch down on their favourite food. They absolutely love courgette. They have such big appetites. You can see sort of here showing you what sort of size that they are and all the different shells. Because they eat a lot, you need to feed them a lot. They would get fed 3 or 4 times a week, and as you can see I put quite a lot in. By tomorrow all of this will have gone. This one here that was my smallest one. That was my biggest one. I'm not sure why that one's so small. Do make sure he eats as much as the rest. I did get them sort of from somebody who was breeding them, so I'm not really sure if they are all the same age or if they are all different ages. I have a bioactive setup. You can see the isopods here. They will do all sorts of clean up their poo and stuff. I do try to clean it out as well, and I clean the glass as well, as they like to climb up it and make it all slimy. Snails have both male and female parts, which means they are hermaphrodites. You can have one just lay eggs on their own without anyone else being there, but normally it does take 2 to do a sort of like a little dance together to get the hormones going and lay some eggs. They will lay hundreds of eggs at a time, so just make sure that you are aware of that. You can keep the babies, or if you don't want the babies, you can put the eggs in the freezer for a couple of days and then throw them in the bin, or you can squat them. I, however, have quite a few lizards who like to eat snails, so I will be breeding these guys up to let my lizards eat some of the babies. Snails love to stay hydrated, so it's very important for them to have a water bowl so that whenever they like they can go and have a soak in that. You can also take them out to soak them in a tub as well. It's also very important that you spray their enclosure quite often as well, so you always see the snails in the wild come out when it's raining. They absolutely love it, so that's the environment that they would love to live in. If, however, snails don't have enough water to hydrate themselves, they will suck themselves into their shell, and they will completely cover their shell with this film-like substance, and they won't come out again until it's nice and wet for them. I have caught one or two of mine that have been like this when they have buried themselves. So their substrate where they were must have been too dry for them, and then they just didn't come back out. So then I will get them and put them in a bowl to soak for a while, and then the film breaks down and then they come back out. So that's why it's very important to give them a bowl and keep their soil damp at all times. Snails can live between 5 and 10 years, so bear that in mind if you are going to keep them yourself. They are, fairly easy to keep. Just watching these, I've sort of noticed that you can see her slime going from a shell all the way up to her head. That's quite funny to see. I don't know if you can quite see it on camera. You just sort of see it moving all the way up as she continues to eat. That's quite funny. Anyway, just be aware that if you are in, say, the UK like me, where it gets cold in the winter times, you will be needing a heat mat to go on the outside of the tank with a thermostat so that it doesn't overheat and burn these little animals. This is the shelving unit that I keep some of my animals on. This one is my hognose, my little new one. So I've got the snails at the bottom, and then on top of them I have my bumblebee millipedes. They're still babies at the moment. I'll be talking about them in a minute. There isn't actually anything in any of those tubs. When I first got my praying mantis, I used to have them in there. So say next is my hognose one, and then on the top I have some new olive millipedes that I will be showing you as well. These are my bumblebee millipedes. They are still quite small. I have 4 of them in here. There's one there, don't know if you can see. They do use all this space. Got loads of fake plants and some dirt. Here is one of the babies here. You can see, judging by the size of my finger, how small they are. These little guys got their name from their beautiful yellow and black stripes they have, as you can see on this little one. These millipedes make great pets for kids because they're fairly easy to keep and great for beginners. They're not dangerous to humans, but they do secrete a toxic that can be irritating when they feel threatened. But if you get them used to handling, they shouldn't really do this very often. I handle mine quite often and they don't do it to me. They just poo on me sometimes, as they don't really enjoy being picked up or handled. So when you do, just do as I'm doing here. Just put your hand out, let them walk over you, and then let them walk off when you put them back, and then that should be fine. I love seeing them like this because I don't know if you can see the 2 tiny dots at the front, their little tiny eyes. They look so cute. Every now and again, millipedes will molt as they get older to grow new skin. So what they will do when they're doing this is burrow into the dirt and hide there until the process is done. So if you find that you're not seeing your millipede for quite a while and it's buried, don't disturb it because this can be very stressful for them. Just wait a while and then you will see them pop up again and they will look nice and bright and colourful. I can't wait to see what these are like when they're a bit bigger. They will grow up to 7.5 centimetres and they can live up to 7 years. So hopefully be spending a lot of time with these guys. I did buy a giant millipede earlier this year, but it was an adult, and obviously you never know how old they are when they're adults, so he wasn't with us for very long, which is quite sad. So it is always best to buy these as babies, so you have more time with them and you can watch them grow. The recommended enclosure size for these guys is 3 times the size of their body. As you can see, I've got them in a tub here. This is so I can keep an eye on them better, and of course they're still quite young. As I said, I've only got 4 in here. As they get bigger, they will be going into a tank, probably the same as what I've got my other millipedes in, and that I have my snails in. You can see here that I've got bits of wood. They like to eat those. They like old rotten wood they like to eat. Also I put some fruit and veg in there as well for them to have something different. They also need some protein, so for this I normally mix up some calcium powder and some dried shrimp and sort of mix it up into a paste and then put it in on a tray, and then they will eat that. At the moment they have some courgette in there. That will be rotted down and they will eat that. Millipedes like it quite damp, so you will have to spray their enclosure daily. Don't want it wet but damp, so that will help them with molting and things. For their substrate I use a sort of all different stuff at the moment. This is organic topsoil. It has a little bit of moss in it, and in some parts we also have some cocoa fibre. And obviously mixed all into it as well is all this little bits of rotten wood, and I also have some springtails in there with them to help clean up. Bumblebees like their temperature just above room temperature, so that would be around 22 up to 28 degrees, and that is 71 to 82 Fahrenheit. These ones don't need any special lighting, although most millipedes don't really like light, but these species seems to quite like light and be attracted to it. So in a big terrarium it is up to you whether you use lighting or not. I will be putting these back now, and then it is on to my giant olive millipedes that are in this one. They're very, very small though. So these are my giant olive millipedes. I've not had them long, not as long as the other ones. I've got 12 altogether in the tank, as you saw. One thing I have noticed straight away with these ones is, my gosh, they are fast. I mean, just look at this one go. None of the other bumblebees I've had are this fast. Actually, it was quite fun when I tried to get them out, because they were going absolutely everywhere. This one's having a little bit of a rest. They are quite funny to watch. These are really good to have because they do climb a lot more than what other millipedes do, and they are out quite a lot as well. Obviously at the moment they're still quite small, but when they are older it will be nice to see them climbing all over the plants and the woods that I've got in there. So yeah, they will make quite a nice decoration for me to watch them. As you can see, these are quite long thin millipedes, even though this one is a baby. You can see he's a lot thinner than what the other millipedes were. They normally grow up to 19 centimetres, so quite long, and they will stay this thin as well. They can live up to 5 years, so not really as long as the other millipedes. So again, best to get these as babies so that you have more time with them. And with this species, the males are generally smaller than the females as well. Oh, where's he going? I just can't believe how fast they are. Oh, I'm going onto that hand. There you go. Little speedy man. With this millipede, they will be sexually mature at around 2 to 3 years old. So if you have a group of them, you will expect to see babies in the group. The same as with the bumblebee millipedes, these are quite calm, even calmer actually. They don't really do much when you enter their enclosure to spray it or change up the food. If they do get scared, they will normally start walking backwards and find a hiding space. But usually if you put your hand in there, they are quite happy to climb all over you. Normally millipedes are ground dwellers, but as I've said before with this species, they do love to climb, so it is important to put lots of climbing material in their enclosures. And you may also need a higher tank or tub than what you would for your other millipedes. As I have 12 in my tank, when they get older I will probably separate these and have 6 in each so that they will have a lot more room to climb. Just like with the bumblebee millipedes, you'll have to have some good quality soil for their substrate. And it also will come in 2 parts. You need the bottom layer having nice organic soil for them to have lots of nutrients, and then the top layer to have lots of decaying matter for them to eat. I will just put this one back in a minute. You can watch him crawl all over everything. If you can see under the leaf here, there is another little one. He looks a bit lighter in colour, so I am guessing that he is molting, so I'll just be leaving him alone. And this other one is going to be going into his hide. Let's see if we can find any more. No, nothing under there but springtails. Nothing under that one either. I think they are probably all buried under the soil. So this is their enclosure. They've got a couple of little things to climb on. Normally I would actually have a piece of wood in there, but it went mouldy, so I've took it out and I'll be replacing it with another one. I've got the screen lid here for ventilation, and while I'm struggling to put the lid back on, I will tell you a funny story that one of our pythons escaped last night, and we actually found it on top of this tank this morning. I will probably be doing a video about this, so look out for that one. As you can see here, it is completely escape proof. They can't get through there. It has a clip at the front which pulls it close to the glass, so they can't escape there either. There's another bit here where I can just pop food in or spray it, but I do normally take the top off. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And I hope you like this video, and I will see you in the next one. I think we've pretty much seen most of the animals now. The next video should be the crested geckos. I have 7 of those, and I've been breeding them, so I have quite a few babies to show you as well. Be showing you what I keep them in, all the different morphs I've got, and also sort of how to keep the babies, how to feed them and stuff like that. So, yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye!